So I was thinking to myself, why don't we start the podcast at 7? Then Melissa said no.
I mean, Patreon's at 9:30.
I mean, that just made no sense. What I meant was,
8 o'clock.
I had suggested that we start it at 8 because it's 7:47, and then Melissa said no. But she's right though, because we do need the 2 hours, and I just need to be more punctual. That's all right.
What up, Casey? Hi, Ian.
Did they ever call you Toddy? Did they ever call you Toddy?
No, that's politically incorrect now.
What?
Oh, you meant tardy. Oh, you were saying it with a Massachusetts accent. Sorry, you were confusing me.
No, but the teachers would say...
What did you think he said is my question now.
Well, if I, tardy. Like, well, toddy. Sometimes when you have...
What does that mean?
When I was...
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Teach me.
When I was a wee lad in school, when there was somebody who was, acting kind of funky, you called him a tad.
Oh, I see.
Video said that he's been waiting here forever. All caps.
Oh my gosh. Did you make popcorn?
I'm gracefully tardy.
There you go.
Oh, bless his
Tardy.
heart.
Fashionably late is more like it.
I don't know how fashionable I am. I got to do laundry. I've got shorts.
Are
That's
we
it.
late or are they early?
We would definitely do laundry
Tonight?
Or next week.
Well, that's good. We got a photo shoot next week, don't we?
I know, and a show.
So we do this shoot. I can't wait because it's like we do the same type of photo shoot. It's not really a photo shoot. I would say it's like a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to go to a certain place, and we have to do these certain photos.
Portsmouth in front of the bridge.
And then we have to eat churros.
Churros?
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
we get churros.
Oh,
She almost
please.
broke. So we're gonna do.
Tell me about these churros.
So,
They're delicious.
Let's start with the important thing.
right,
Churros.
right. Okay. Well, so these are life-changing churros, as you can tell, and we only do them for the August photo shoot. So we do an August photo shoot with churros in paella, which is like fucking chorizo sausage on yellow rice with chicken and tomatoes and then we do the photo shoot, and then it's a very fancy thing, and then we go out, on the town.
Yeah.
And we eat churros with Swiss chocolate.
Hell yeah. Now you're speaking my language.
The best burger in Portsmouth, Gillies.
Oh yeah, we all know the answer to that.
Come
Stop
on.
playing. Who said that?
Hans.
Stop it.
Classic.
Yo, why would you even come on, man?
Because
I can tell he's not from the town.
He's not from
I
the
can tell
town.
he's not from
He's
the town.
never been to the town.
Fucking Gillies, man.
Everybody knows it's Gilly.
Oh my god, now we need a Gillies trip. Here we go.
Right, you're making this difficult for everybody.
Should we do lunch, dinner,
what we
churros?
might do?
I've only ever walked by Gillies. I've never actually been inside.
What?
Yeah.
My heart.
I know. And I've known
Look
it's
at what
a
you're
staple
doing
too.
Look at what you're doing.
I've known it's a
Yeah.
staple too.
And you've been there. You've been to the town.
Multiple
Now,
times.
the truth is,
I've played in Portsmouth.
Oh my god. And you played it.
what did you eat afterwards when you were done?
Well, the venue fed us, and I also had subs on it. I forget the place. It was on
They
Market
tricked
Street.
you. They tricked you.
They did you an injustice.
They played you. They played you. See, they should. Yeah, I don't know what they did to you. They
didn't give
probably
you-
poisoned you. How good was the set?
At the venue?
Yeah.
Well, they fed us before the set, but it was very fun.
Okay.
Churros Toast Crunch is not what it's cracked up to be.
That's true.
Putting that out there.
Well,
heard that.
we tried it though. She wound up getting Kit Kat.
I know. I heard.
Oh, okay.
Kit Kat.
The first time I saw it, I thought of her.
So people don't know, but for those of you that love Lexi, one way you can love her is with Kit Kats. And I'm not kidding. So
Can't confirm.
it is It
Casey
is.
Flynn has never had a churro.
This is fucking crazy.
Have you never
What
had
the
a
fuck is
churro?
going on
What
here?
is going on?
What the fuck is going on? This isn't real.
Is
It's
this
like saying you've never had
pinch
water.
me? Is this real? Is this happening?
I mean, we could all just be some figment of imagination.
All I'm saying is between the churro thing and
me not going to Gillies.
yeah, I'm floored. And I do mean buffing, and I do mean stripping. Now, now look, we'll do Gillies and we'll do the churros. We might have to skip out on paella because we have to have at least 2 of those experiences in one day. We'll go back for paella. We can't skip churros,
No.
and we can't skip Gillies.
We can't skip.
God no. Especially
Those 2
knowing
aren't
I've never been.
skippable. See this one over here. But
yeah,
you know what we
paella.
could do? We could get a big order of paella to go. So why don't we do? So we got to plan this out.
I want it all.
I want it
I want
all.
all of it.
Well, I was gonna say if we're going up the day before, we just stop back the next day because we're making a weekend thing of it.
Yeah.
Hans, you don't need no damn pizza. Get Gillies.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
real.
you
You
don't
don't
do.
get pizza in Portsmouth. No, yeah. Come on, even I know that.
Right.
What's
And
wrong?
I've
Like,
never been to Gillies.
Right. Get pizza when you go to New York
Yeah.
or Connecticut. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Don't get that in
I know
Portsmouth.
New York has the best pizza. I love Sbarro
I would pick New York probably personally
for pizza.
over Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If I
Oh,
had
we're
to
about
pick
to get
between
into.
the
We
two.
might have to get into.
Although there's this like small local like pizza chain in Connecticut, Frank's Peepee. I forget what the actual name of it is, but we just
One
call
more
it Frank's Peepee. No, I think it's Peppy. But
Wow.
anyway, place is pretty solid.
Solid pee.
Nothing like
If
having-
you guys are ever feeling generous, you got to bring the Kit Kat. And the thing is Lexi likes exotic forms of Kit Kats.
Mm-hmm.
We have had, at one time we had wasabi Kit Kats.
What the?
That were actually really good.
So good. So
It
good.
doesn't taste like wasabi.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's really good.
so people from all over the globe, they hunt and they find all the different Kit Kats that can be made and they send them to Lexi. So anybody at home, if you really love Lexi and you want to make her happy, this is the
I
easiest way to.
personally love the strawberry cheesecake Kit Kats.
Yeah.
They're so
I just
good.
saw those the other day.
And
too.
people keep reminding me that the chocolate is different when you go to other lands. So
Yeah.
anybody who would want to get really expensive and lives, in Germany or one of those fancy European spots.
Switzerland.
Right. I had a good friend of mine from Germany used to make fun of our chocolate all the time. And
As he should.
Wonder why.
As he
no,
should.
Right.
he told me the cigarettes are different here, the beer is different here, the chocolate's different here. And at the time, I'd never gone to another country.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in my life, I got the opportunity. And the first thing I noticed in another country was the cigarettes were different. Literally, they didn't. When you smoked them, they didn't feel or taste the same. That's the first.
Was it better or
worse?
It was far.
We
It
have
was,
the same track
do
mind.
you want- okay, so I was I used to smoke cigarettes, and I was a Marlboro smoker. And I loved cigarettes. I wasn't like one of those people that smoked cigarettes and didn't like them. You hear people with these horror stories that are like, "Oh, I
I
fucking
fucking
smoke
hate it."
cigarettes." Fucking- Hold on, let me light the cigarette. Yeah, that's not a cigarette. So the thing is like, when I smoked cigarettes, I was I didn't like flavors. I wanted to smoke cigarettes. People like to eat pussy and they want to taste, licorice and Starburst and fucking mint and all that. Not me. You know what I'm saying?
Mint is the best.
Lexi, that's not the point.
Where do you
So
find
anyway,
But I'm slightly.
you just have it going today, don't you? gonna share some podcasts.
Video said overseas cigarettes are not engineered, quote unquote. The tobacco is just tobacco. It throws the tourists off.
Oh, it's disgusting. I was like, "Where's the chemicals?" Like the first thing that I noticed was like, God damn! I was like, "That's fucking clean." It was, you know what I mean? It was way too clean.
There's no rat poison?
No, I like, I was a big cigarette smoker, so I liked my cigarettes to hit. Like, I don't even like fake butter and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want the kind that clogs your fucking arteries. You know what I mean?
The good stuff.
Right, or nothing at all. So, this is the same thing. That's why I quit smoking cigarettes. Because they're terrible for you.
Yeah.
People are like, Will, if you love cigarettes so much, then why'd you quit? I thought I'd fucking kill you. That's why I don't smoke them. But people are like, did you stop smoking cigarettes because you don't like cigarettes? Oh, hell no. I loved cigarettes. I used to drink liquor. I loved tequila. I used to, tequila and a cigarette for lunch. See? It's still good. You haven't had it in fucking years. You know it's still good. I don't want to tell you all the habits that we can't do. But these particular ones, especially smoking cigarettes, I've always liked it. I wasn't one of those people that stopped smoking because it was fucking killing me. It wasn't doing any of that. I could run around on stage, I will say the one of the major reasons for me being able to stay smoke-free is vocals. Mm-hmm. I never really huffed and puffed. I didn't cough up blood. I didn't do all the stuff that you'd expect. And I've been smoking since I was 12 years old. Kids in the 80s, we started smoking when we were fucking 7. Like, we didn't give a shit. Like, they had candy fucking cigarettes. All the cool motherfuckers smoked.
Slightly said he started smoking when he was 12.
Yeah, that's what you did. You hung out with your friends. You did, though. That's what the kids did. You didn't hang out on the cell phone and talk shit about each other. You smoked cigarettes, you tongue-kissed girls, you had firecrackers, you played with matches, you broke your fucking arms off, you did fun stuff. But that was one of the first things I noticed was that the cigarettes tasted different. I was like, oh, these cigarettes suck in this country. And then the booze was good. And then the other thing was like, it was also like weed was starting to become legal in this country at that time. Like, I was in California when weed was getting legal, and I'm sitting there smoking a big joint. I'm like, oh, man, this is so fucking cool. Everything's so fucking legal. Look, man, can you believe, I'm talking to my brother. I'm like, can you believe, you can ask him, too. This is a real story. I'm sitting here smoking a huge, there's people all over the beach. We're in Venice Beach. There's people walking just all over Venice Beach, playing guitars, smoking weed, and everyone smoked weed. There's people, and I'd never seen anything like this being from New Hampshire. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this is fucking fascinating. Meanwhile in New Hampshire, I've never asked anybody permission to do anything. I just do what I want to do. No one's going to stop me. And, honestly, it's always been my, it's always been, I'm not saying it's nice. It's just what I've always done. When we were kids, if we wanted to smoke a blunt, we just smoked it.
Right.
If there was a patrolman or something, you kind of, you put it, you mind your business and they went on their way. Mm-hmm. You didn't really, you know what I mean? When we grew up, we drank beers in a car, walking down the street. We never asked anybody's permission. I don't know what you guys did at home. But in my time, cops wouldn't stop you and say, put out that beer. Kids smoked cigarettes downtown. The cops never showed up and was like, let's stop the kids from, you couldn't stop children from smoking cigarettes. Not in my time. That's what everybody did. Cigarettes were fucking cool. They were popular. You know what I mean?
My next question about your cigarettes in Germany. Was the nicotine stronger? And did it last longer?
No, I had to smoke half a pack.
In order to achieve the amount of nicotine you get in one drag of the American?
Yes, that shit was, it was weak. It was like smoking a light. Yeah, so smoking like a Marlboro Red. It didn't have that Marlboro Red. Marlboro Reds out here, it's like smoking a fucking stick of fucking dynamite. you can feel your heart about to pop. It's what you're looking for that. You know what I mean? If you smoked a Marlboro Red right now, it would shake the fucking earth on you. And you know what I mean? It'd be like a hit of fucking horse. All right, you know what? Right, it would be shocking. You'd have to go lay down. You smoke an American cigarette? Holy shit. I'm just telling you. I wouldn't even dare. Somebody could bet me. Somebody could give me money. I wouldn't dare. Not because I wouldn't be able to continue not smoking cigarettes, because it would hurt.
It's interesting how...
you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to go through the pain.
Myself. But...
No, I love cigarettes, and I still do. That's the thing. I don't even not like them.
I was going to say, every now and then I'll have one.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
Shit.
What?
I would never consider it.
Yeah.
Well, I was never addicted.
Oh, okay. No, I was a cigarette smoker.
One and that be it. Okay.
No, I grew up on cigarettes. I mean, fuck food. We smoked.
I used to smoke cigarettes too.
Okay. Everywhere I went. Yeah. Okay, so in my time, okay, they smoked in the fucking mall.
They smoked in the mall?
You smoked cigarettes in the fucking mall.
In the mall?
In the fucking mall.
I remember,
when I was a kid, you smoked cigarettes. That's where everybody hang out. You go and you smoke butts at the. You go to the mall. You smoke butts and you hang out with the girls. That's what everybody did. Friday came along. The new music came out on Thursday. Everyone fucking stole cigarettes. You went over. They had cigarette machines. You fucking kick a hole in the fucking thing. You rip the cigarettes out of it. We were mean motherfuckers. We didn't play that shit.
Fine.
That's what we did. There was no cameras.
For album release, this sounds fun.
There was no cameras. You just fucking smoked. Wherever the fuck you wanted to. And if somebody told you to stop, they had to come and get them physically.
Let's have an album release like this.
You know what I'm saying? What are you going to... Stop smoking. Make me, motherfucker. Yeah. That's how it was. Hey, you stop doing that. All right, give it a shot. There was no, like... Right. But you smoked in malls... You smoked in the fucking restaurants. The fucking Gladys would be over here. Gladys!
Smoking
or not borrow your fucking cup. Right. You had your New England clam chowder, your pack of fucking Salem's, Virginia fucking Slims and Capris. All the big ladies had the Capris. Huh?
And a nice album?
Well, I don't know. I mean, albums were bigger than that. You know, bigger than. They really fit so many albums around. Anyhow.
This is great.
Oh no, Sharon.
Okay.
I got all fucked up.
That's fine.
In Nashua, a little bit before my time, but in middle school to like high school, like what the kids would do was basically same thing, only instead of the mall, it was usually an arcade. In Nashua, there's an arcade on every fucking block.
Yes, arcades. I was just gonna get into that.
Yep.
There's an arcade
I was just gonna get into that. That was the next thing. The other thing you did.
The arcade.
Gaming wasn't sitting in your closet like a scary motherfucker. You went out.
Yeah, you went out.
And it was crazy. Weed. Yes, you bought the fucking pot. You met the girls. You bought the outfit at the mall. The new CD came out. You saved a couple bucks. You ran. I'm telling you.
Why did we stop doing
this? Because we're too bored with each other.
Then may we be the only ones that continue this tradition.
Phone and back then you went out. You know, Thursday, Friday night at the mall was fucking the place to be.
You ate. You got your. It was Facebook.
Yeah.
The mall was Facebook.
Yeah. You went out.
The mall was the market.
You picked up girls.
Yep. You met everybody's in the parking lot. You had the hoods.
Yep.
You had the jocks. You had the metal guys. Everybody. Yeah, because everyone had to get.
Party in there too?
Yes, it's like the United Nations. You got to get the weed from those guys.
Yep.
Then you got to get the dudes downtown to go buy the booze and every. Yeah. It was an ecosystem.
May we continue this?
And
like
then,
us as Sepsiss?
if you were 16 plus and you had a license in a car, this is a Guinness World Record. I believe we still hold the record for this, but Elm Street in Manchester, what you would do on a Friday night after the mall, you would just circle around Elm Street.
Oh yeah.
You just there would be cars.
Mm-hmm.
Drove from
and in Portsmouth, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep, in Portsmouth, you drive from all the way to the top of State Street. All the way back around, you do the loop,
and I mean, you're talking like
it takes an hour. It takes an hour to get around it. That's what you did, and you were in your fresh car with your clothes, with the girls, with the top down,
music
burning
playing.
the trees. You jump out, Yeah,
jump out, you get into somebody else.
Yeah, get into somebody else's car, then you drive around. Yeah, you drive around going to blunt. Oh, you don't even know, Lex.
Can I know? Like, can we do it?
Elm Street in Manchester.
Like,
yeah, it's weird that you don't even know about this.
Well, I don't. Please.
I think
she's done.
Elm Street still holds the
record for Melissa remembers this kind of shit.
Most traveled dead end road.
Dude, yeah.
You're talking hundreds of cars. Just
yes, and you know because you lived in Brook, and what was next to that? The Strip. Hampton Beach. You get on the beach, and everybody. I mean, it was.
I mean, shit. They still do that.
They still do, but it's not like it was.
Can we do it like it was?
Nope. The internet said we can't.
Nope.
No.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Yep. You know. You need 300 followers.
Yep.
Fuck that. I'd rather.
You know what? If people did do that now, they wouldn't do anything. They go like this the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be the rager that it used to be. Yeah, it would just be.
Back then,
we did it.
You cleaned your fucking car. Yep. You waxed everything. You brought out the dope bikes. Everybody came out with the tattoos. Everybody got oiled up. Their hair done. The braids done. Everybody got their mohawks out. Their arm gauntlets. Their spiked jackets.
Your best outfit.
That's how it was.
Yep.
Melissa, come on now.
Why did we stop doing
you come on now, man.
This is so frustrating.
Because somebody's like, I'm not gonna drive around in my car because I got my phone, and what if somebody calls me, and if I'm stuck in the loop, then how am I supposed to get
and most people need a GPS just to get around the corner, so you wouldn't even be able to you wouldn't be able to drive anywhere and do stuff like that because you'd have to wait, recalculating.
Yep.
Recalculating. You'd have to wait
Turn.
for that. You'd have to wait. The phone would have to tell you, huh?
What if you knew the area well enough that
nobody knows
the piece of shit?
Nobody knows anything anymore.
Not anymore.
Make another left turn.
What if you did though? Like, what if you actually knew the area? You did the research. You
make a U-turn when safe.
You want to know why? Because somebody would do a fucking review on it. And somebody would do a review on it, and I'm gonna tell you something. People don't leave good reviews. Go to the dentist, okay? You have a wonderful time. Betty fucking suits you up, breath smelling like, well, not like a baby's ass, but you know what I'm saying. You don't want that. You want mint, spearmint.
Mint's the best.
You know, you come walking out of there, it was one of the best experiments of your life. Was it painful? No. Was it quick? Absolutely. Did you make your next appointment during the day? Certainly. Not a care in the world. Not a problem. Who gets in the car after this experience is like, you know what? Fucking Aspen Dental. I'm going to let it all shine. This has been the best experience of my life. Debbie was there with lollipops. They gave me a survey. I loved it. The survey. Nobody ever does that.
And that's when they started drilling.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, nobody ever does that. It's like, and this is how we know. If you're ever a merch person, like celebrity merch girl Lexi Swarm, try to start an email list at your merch table. You want to really?
Oh my God.
You want to really get under people's skin?
Sign up for the mailing list.
So I can tell you. Hey, I'm trying to tell you from experience, man. People don't leave good reviews. You have the best time, and this is why. Okay, I'll say to people, right? I'll be like, "Come to Swarmy Fest." Who, me? Yes, you. Why me? Because I've known you for 35 years, and you've never been to one of my shows. Yes, you. The person that likes every fucked up thing that happens to me on Facebook. Yes, you. The person that's been on my friends list for 15 years and has never been to a show, knowing I only use Facebook to chase my dreams and to support the band. Literally, if I wasn't in a rock and roll band, I would delete this shit. Most people know that about me. But yes, you. I'm talking to you, the person that I've known my whole life, and behind my back you tell everybody how close we are and how involved and participating you are in supporting local businesses and local restaurants and support local and Boston strong and New England strong and those people. Those are the people I'm talking to. When's the last time you've been out to see a local band or a show or anything like that?
Picture it, Sicily, 1912.
Yeah. I just faded into an entire different energy with that. But it does remind me, we should actually start the show. Because we haven't started the show for the last 2 times. And I could talk to you guys all night. You know what winds up happening is we sit around this table for the first time in a handful of days, and we're like actually catching up naturally.
Yeah. So we did.
Did you notice that though? Like that does happen. Like we'll just like be happy to actually be sitting down and hanging out for a second. That
we should add a new show where we just do that and talk about
all
the random crap.
What we need to do is just go live more.
I think so.
Like when we're adventuring.
Adventure.
You know, that's why we have the Hive too. I love doing that there.
Right.
That's like my place. A lot of people don't know.
It's like our own reality show.
It is. We're gonna have a reality show.
I know, that's why I brought it up. It was a segue.
Yeah, people don't know about that, but it's coming. After we're done with Road to the Swarm, we've been brainstorming how to create and multi-stream a legit, the very first social media heavy metal reality TV show. Right here. And
it's about damn time.
We're going to figure it out.
Congrats on all the success for Bleed Lines. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's really interesting you say that because we were so poor, like going into making that video and like, you know, just being able to like, we were just so grateful just to be able to do it.
Right.
I had so much fun. I love going into projects without having all type of pro expectations because it leaves so much more room for moments like that. Mm-hmm. I'd rather like Mike Stover realize that than some fucking loose cannon person I've never met before, a person I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's very valuable. I appreciate that. We do work hard on these things, but we work hard on them also with the idea that we love to do it. So it's nice to hear from authentic and verified people who've been in touch with what we've been doing throughout the years. Some people just say something to you because they just met you. They're
using that as the stepping stone.
Sure, and that's not a terrible thing. Far too often we don't create conversations because we're too fearful of letting other people know how we feel or hearing what other people got to think. Mm. Right? Mm-hmm. What was I talking about a second ago? Right before then?
We were talking about...
Not this cookie, because this cookie's...
We were talking about that earlier, but that was earlier.
Oh, we were talking about how terrible it is now.
Yeah, we were talking about how we can no longer
and you're never going to have any fun because you're too young.
Right.
But I keep asking if there's like a way for us to do it like ourselves.
Ask Mike Stover. Us. Mike Stover can remember a time we used to smoke cigarettes in the mall. Right. I'm not saying we need to smoke cigarettes.
No, but I'm talking about like the fun stuff, like where you get together with your friends, you put like your nice outfit on Friday night, you go out, you go party, or you go get the new album, then you come and party.
He lost his virginity in the mall.
Well, in the parking lot of the mall, but yeah.
It's on the property. You could have been popped. Like somebody could have caught you. You know what I mean? Like you could have been you could have been fingered. Not by the... You know what I meant.
No, that didn't happen until the second day, but anyway.
Mike Stover's asking, will Sepsiss ever do a video where each member is an alternate version of themselves in the video?
Yes, as soon as we have members. No, I like that idea. I do like that idea. I think that's the one thing that I wish we had more of in the Bleed Lines video. Is like more into nothing against the amazing Melissa, but I do, and don't get me wrong, I love the video, but I've always dreamed of a music video where everyone has these unbelievable parts. The problem is with that when you're in post-production, okay? It's like you shoot a lot of material going in, and you have a storyboard and these boxes that you hope to check along the way, okay? But if you're in a band like Sepsiss, you know, instead of prioritizing in a massive budget, we might go out to the warehouse like we did, right? But that's outside, and you have to wait to a certain time of year. So like when we started to build Bleed Lines as a video, that was with the understanding that the place wasn't going to look the same when we actually got to shoot it. So when we went out and scoped it out, it was cold, it was snow on the ground, and we know we're taking pictures of it. We had to kind of imagine what it would be like in spring.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we had to make those adjustments. The other thing is, guys, is that New England is a motherfucker, and everything you do outside is subject to change. So like like we might have a show next week on Saturday, and it says whatever it says, the meteorologist is going to make pinky promises, but if you live in New England, it could and it probably will change within a matter of hours. So the day that we shot, anybody can go look on the Road to the Swarm because we did the episode. But the day that we shot the video in the dock, I'm looking for rain all day because on the cell phone that day it said 80% chance it's gonna, and it kept going up to 90. We were in the car and it's like there was drops out in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, and I'm like, Zach, you think it's gonna rain? Like,
yeah.
And then we looked, and it's like, it's not raining in Massachusetts. And, like, that's how it is. New England, you might go the next town over, and all of a sudden there's a fucking hurricane.
Right.
Like, so, you know, what we don't have in budget, you know, sometimes you got to make up for it in risk. We're definitely, like, when it comes to art, we're a risk-taking band, and sometimes that can cost you a couple bucks. You know, you might drive out to an area and take a risk, and it's just not the day. You know, I can remember that, you know, when we were first learning how to shoot and we were doing a lot of stuff outside, learning about the lens and learning about the sunlight and learning that we just couldn't get it right. We'd always run out, and then something would happen with the weather, you know, and we waste a half a tank of gas and drag the drum kit, you know, 3 hours out. We had some trial and error for that. So what I wanted to say though is we shoot. So we go into a video shoot like this, and other bands can steal this format too. But we'll storyboard everything at the office, and we'll go, okay, we're hoping for these three. We'd like drone shots, crane shots, a nighttime shot, and, you know, a big open wide shot. Okay. And we'll say, these are what we want it to look like. This is the profile of the video. This is the profile. And we'll do that from beginning to end. We'll say what happens. And we'll get the band and everybody around, and we'll say, and we'll go, let's tell a story. And I'll say, Lexi, tell the story how you see it. And she'll go, okay, the doors open. Red doors come out. Boom. Drums hit. Toms. Cymbals. Melissa. And we'll literally talk through it like this. And I'll go, crane shot, drone shot, bass flip, and then we'll just talk. And we'll write it out. And we'll say, this is how I see the video. Now, how do you see it? I see it as, Zach comes out of the water. Then the smoke comes out. Then there's the bass drop. Then and we try to illustrate and talk about the visuals with the idea that is like adhesive to the music. So we don't try to talk about these things separate or aside than the music. So every few visuals or illustrations, you have to say what's happening in the song. Mm-hmm. So we'll name the parts in the song, then we'll name the parts in the images. Now you have names of images, names of sounds. Then you put the names of the images into the sounds, and you start matching them up. Okay, and then we do like whoever has the best idea wins in the band. That's what we're shooting. Mm-hmm. And usually the best idea comes down to quality resources, and the time that it takes to do it. And then we consider that we cannot have all three. So if something takes a lot of time to do, and we want it high quality, we know that it's going to cost money. Mm-hmm. If we don't want to spend the money, then we're going to sacrifice quality or a lot of time to get it done. Mm-hmm. So these are, this is the way we look at it. And then, so after we've talked about it like that, we'll shoot all the parts the best we can, right? And then collect the parts. But what people actually see in a Sepsiss video in the end, no matter what, is when we line everything up, we're going to sit there and go, who made the best face? Who was most on beat? Where was the light better here in this shot? So you will line up. There'll be, 16 shots. What was happening at that time that best represents the video? So we could write a video and say we have a bunch of, it might start off, we have a bunch of drone shots in Lexi. But as it starts to get edited down, real life is going to take over. Real life circumstances. It just so happens most of her shots are in the rain and they're dark. And your shots just look great. The way your guitar, the way your guitar is bouncing off the light. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when people are like, why is Melissa in the videos so much? It's because she looks great. Mm-hmm. And she's practiced her parts, and and because she helps write the music, and she helps do the wardrobe, and she helps pick the locations. Naturally, it's hard to beat the front person in passion, because usually they're the ones that are the most romantically connected to the project. Mm-hmm. So we are very story driven, and we are also melodically and lyric driven. A lot of metal bands have got a bunch of instrumentals. So you have an opportunity to go around and visit everybody a little bit longer. You got times you can linger on the drums because there's an instrumental part that reinforces that. The problem with Sepsiss is we wrote the band for Melissa to always be singing. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to our videos, the camera's on her a lot of times because she's singing. And if we were to take it away, you'd be like, why the hell are y'all... You see what I'm saying? Right. So people can say, well, why, how come we film Melissa a lot? It's because she's prettier than me. That's it. And a lot of times, because we're filming her the most, she's also in the best light. Yep. She usually spends the most time with her outfits. She's usually spent a lot more time than myself and others on choreography. She's had a little bit more time to become personal with the lyrics. So, I've noticed, when Melissa's doing something in a video, it's very, some rappers or singers or songwriters, some rappers will just flick their wrists or do whatever, where then there's other rappers that are, illustrating what people are doing. They're illustrating and talking to you and telling time and pulling things out of the sky and throwing them at you and zipping their mouths closed and blowing out their ear. You know what I'm saying? And some other guys are just doing this. But Melissa's one of those people. She doesn't just go like this. She's not just throwing bows. You know what I'm saying? She's almost like a sermon. You know what I'm saying? She's doing a sermon or something like a preacher would do. She's more illustrating. Yep. So a lot of times I'll notice that her, whatever's going on lyrically in the music video, she also has some sort of a physical illustration to go along with it, which helps with film. We got to write more guitar parts. We had some killer parts, though, I was saying in the last video.
Oh, yeah.
Casey Flynn loves your smile.
Oh, thank you.
She said she's always so happy.
Thanks. In fact, I am. I'm happy every day. Thank you. Glad you see it.
Take it away, happy girl.
Where are we going? Going to openers?
Yeah.
Let's go on an adventure. It's almost Friday. Woo.
Heading to the arcade.
Right. You want to go smoke cigarettes at the arcade?
Yeah, except my
We had an
cigarettes...
arcade called Tilt.
Tilt?
You went there? What? Why are you laughing at that?
Because what it's called.
What, Tilt? Oh, man, this is some dirty stuff, isn't it?
So, I do have a couple openers. I'm just trying to decide which one I should go with first. I'll do the challenges of touring during post-pandemic.
Let's do it.
Let's do that, because everyone's touring right now.
And they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. Unless you got fans. Anyways, so this little piece was taken from an interview with Eric Peterson. He's the guitarist from Testament.
I'm turning you up.
Okay, he's the guitarist from Testament. His name was Eric Peterson, and he goes on to discuss in this fabulous interview the challenges that he himself has faced within the challenges of touring post-pandemic, as well as probably other bands, not only at his tier, but maybe similar. And it's going to be difficult because of COVID-19, the pandemic, and how uncertain it brings during that time. I think it was a couple years ago now. And it was pretty challenging then, too, like it is now. But he goes on in the interview, and he discusses how, yes, being a musician isn't really that lucrative, but he also goes on to discuss that not only are there, like, rising costs and rising investments that you need to do, not only with living, like grocery shopping, for example. Like, food now in the groceries are rising. Same as touring costs, gas prices rising, to rent a RV rising, to even buy one rising, housing rising, hotels rising. All of these expenses for travel and to make things a little bit more comfortable as you're going from state to state, country to country, all of these prices are raising, but the workers that are doing all these jobs, as well as the musicians, their paychecks aren't rising. And he discusses how these challenges, that's the challenging part, is trying to decipher, not starve yourself, and not do too much of a risk, or too much of a risk with your life, playing the dice game on, should I dump $25K on this tour instead of dumping that into other expenses of my life, or something like that.
In terms of, it just makes me think of all of our friends that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on buy-ons. Because people will invest on a buy-on with the idea that they can inherit. I think the strategy is to buy on to a head PE show. Or like if you are us, if you are a band like Sepsiss, that's actually a pretty good, I would say, example actually. If you were somebody like Sepsiss, the strategy would be to buy on to a head PE show or a non-point show and hope to inherit some of their exposure and fan base. I mean, head PE and non-point have worked for 2 decades to build up their social media and their fan base and their repertoire, their portfolio, their discography. And then the idea is we're gonna invest ourselves and tag along or piggyback a little bit on their venue access, because they have a reputation, and they have networks in various partnerships with travel accommodations and networks that I'm sure were forged in a much earlier version of the music industry. A music industry in a business based on contacts, not machines. Anyhow, now the modern musician, we forge most of our relationships and contacts, and a great deal of our fan base is managed through machines and social media. Before, managers, A&Rs, labels, even to some degree promoters, those were the people that were in between artists and fans. Now it's the fucking machines.
Right.
The social media and the Spotify and the chart metrics and the bands in town. We go through apps and AI gauntlets and
there's a lot of people. There's a lot to invest in.
Right. So it just, you know what I mean, in terms of when I talk to my friends, and there's definitely a different menu for everybody. Every band has a different diet, different needs, different goals. I think I was talking with Lexi earlier today, and I was like, you know what really saves us from the woes of Blue Ridge and DW and all these big festivals? Because it seems like you got festival bands and then you got like venue and bar bands.
Yep.
Like those are the two types you have now. You had like arena bands and touring bands and like all these other type of different
theater bands.
Right. Now it
big
seems
club bands.
Right. Now everybody's either you're all lumped in, you're doing the festival thing every season, or you're kind of just, doing the weekend warrior or the hybrid touring like we're seeing like, SD do, and like other bands, even bands like Nonpoint doing these larger like weekend warrior strides where they're doing like big block shows. It's great that you bring it up because everybody does have different needs. And you have the festival acts and you have like the venue acts, and there's no in between.
Right. And there's also challenges with venues too, because now in 2023 venues are operating at reduced capacities.
Yep.
Right. And a lot of those bigger acts have come into the smaller sector.
Because it's getting harder to pack to pack an arena.
Right.
For some bands, it's harder to pack an arena. But yeah, each element, festivals, touring in general, like going out of your state, and then touring locally, like within venues, each little area, even arenas, each have their own set of challenges.
I'm hearing it more now as people start to get closer to big festivals like Blue Ridge. In the beginning of the season, when people were hopeful about getting on it, as I remind people that don't get on these things for whatever reason, be it circumstantial, let's say you just don't, I see a lot of the young acts hitting all the big festivals now. And when I say young, I mean under 30. All right?
Yeah.
So young to me is for a while, some people think the new young means like you're old when you're 22. No, I mean under 30. Your brain's still developing. That's what I mean by you're young. Meaning biologically your brain might still be developing a little. Give it some time. But when I see these young bands going out there, because I truly don't believe that you become a great guitar player or a great singer until you reach your potential. And I think for most rockers, that's adulthood. I said most. There are some rare achievers that tear it up at 10, but that's not many. Me and Zach practice a lot. We're not overachievers. We're just regular guys that love rock and roll and we like to practice.
Just love to play.
But just like in terms of the bands that are already playing these festivals and they're under 25, they're under 30. And if you've played DW, if you played Incarceration Fest last year and then you played, Sonic Temple, and then next year you played, you play all of them, and you're 20, let's say you're 22. Each year you play. How many of these festivals are you going to play before litigation sets in? Most of these motherfuckers are in court. They do this shit for about 10 years and they bury these fucking festivals. Seriously, just look at them yourself. So if you're a young rocker and you're building this resume and you're building this buzz, it's just like how many people were MySpace rappers and MySpace bands and built their brands. Or you're seeing the same thing happen now on Twitter with Elon taking everybody's fucking gamer tags. I'll get to that in a minute. That's pretty fucked up. But it's like people that have been on this platform, people buy ads. Bands like Sepsiss put out sponsors. You have promoters and small businesses, painting companies, landscapers that are all on Facebook building this platform brick by brick.
Yep.
Because the internet, is run by advertisements. And places like Meta, for instance, depend on small businesses and bands and guys that do magic tricks and live shows and streamers and gamers. These are the people that are buying into this place. These are the people that create the ad revenue. Not superstars, not celebrities, everyday people with, hardscaping companies and roofing companies and people that need to put out ads to get above the noise. Mostly people making a living. Mostly people chasing their dreams or raising families. Neighbors, bro.
A lot of people
neighbors
in your community.
So in terms of like larger festivals and like bands that are playing them now, you're you are, just as we are with Facebook, rolling the dice. And we're saying we're rolling the dice with our art. Going live right now on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube right now. We're taking this time, and we're adding to their data collection. That's called acquisition. Y'all understand that? Did y'all understand that? It's data collecting. Spotify's a data mining, data collection agency for shopping. Y'all understand that, right? That's the partnership that we have with Facebook. I don't know if people understand that. I'm telling you that so you know that we as a band have a partnership with them. And that partnership has to do with data collecting. It's not music. It's about ad revenue, data collecting, ROI. These companies, like a record label, they only care about the smaller companies that are keeping people on the company. Facebook doesn't care if Sepsiss makes music. What they care about is if you guys are going to watch the show or not.
Keeping people on the platform.
What they care is that you guys are watching us right now. If everybody could, can everybody just put some hearts in the chat? Because that's what they care about. When you guys put those hearts, when you guys are clicking the buttons, you guys are telling the robot, you guys are training the system to say, Sepsiss is good with us. They're authentic, they're real, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And they're keeping us on the platform, which is what they want. They want people to use the platform. Right,
and Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook, and they're willing to partner with bakeries, yoga studios, heavy metal bands. It doesn't matter who they are. They're gonna, they're gonna contract in. They're gonna partner up. They're gonna offer we get new opportunities through these companies all the time, like Meta and Google. Sometimes Meta and Google pay us for our participation, and that's because we have rolled the dice with them. They have rolled the dice with us. Okay? And in the same respect, in the new music industry, with there being festival bands versus, I shouldn't say versus, but there being festival bands and there also being a comparative or much different behavior in just booking like traditional venue style and venue bands with no in between. Or at least it's much difficult to define what that is. The arenas are empty. I'm just keeping it real. But it just the general idea is that if you're playing these festivals now and you're under 30, what are you going to do in 2 years from now?
Find a new festival.
Because you can't use MySpace right now on your resume. So if you know what I'm saying, you can't go back and say, if I had, if your name was at X. Mm-hmm. Hold on, hear me out. If your name was at X on Twitter, right? They just changed the platform. So Elon Musk, if your name is at music, you lost that. He's taking that. If your name is at, so if you have, if you were right now, if you were on Twitter and you had a handle with hundreds of thousands and millions of followers on it, and you have been that your entire time with Twitter, been around for almost 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you've been on Twitter for the last 15 years and your name is, let me figure out what this guy's name is real quick, just as an example. This guy, I just want to, there it is. X's takeover of at music handle hints toward possible music plans. So I don't know, I always read up on music, but I noticed that the administrators over at Twitter are planning something with music because I saw them sniping music handles. People who had music handles like at music or at radio, mm-hmm. they started taking them from them, and the creators were complaining like, "This is my property. I've worked on this brand for 15 years. How can you just take my profile username and repurpose it like that? I've been on Twitter forever. This is my business." It'd be like them taking Sepsiss from us and just calling, being like, "All right, you guys got to figure out something else."
But they'd be like, "Well, you're on our platform."
Right, then leave the then find something else to do.
Right. Read the terms and conditions.
So, but this is the thing with record labels. I could tell this is
the same thing.
It's the same thing that happened with us in our record label.
Same thing.
So you're around until people don't need you anymore, Zach. And this is what I'm telling you about the festival game. Mm-hmm. So if you're playing the festivals right now and you're under 25, you're under 30, you go to Blue Ridge you've been to Blue Ridge 4 times. They haven't paid you. So when are they going to call you and pay you to come?
Probably never. So
that's what I'm saying. But hey man, if people can get free hand jobs, what do you think they're going to charge later? What do you think? You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? Adjust the prices? This is what I'm trying to say. You give somebody a free piece of pizza every day and then tell them that it's $1 and they're going to start arguing with you.
Mm-hmm. Why now all of a sudden?
So I'm saying people love Blue Ridge when they get picked for it. Mm. But as you're getting close to Blue Ridge season, you're seeing a lot of these bands go, "Man, what the fuck, man? Like, I didn't get picked." Like, and I'm saying to all y'all, man, we've been telling you guys this from the beginning, man, about this.
Since the beginning of Honeycomb Hideout,
we've been telling you.
We have sat here. We told y'all what y'all go through with the submission fees. We told y'all what happens with that.
We've been warning all of these guys.
Warning y'all.
And we're warning you about
That's why we
Danny
have this
Wimmer.
Shirt.
Stand up.
That's why we have this shirt.
Listen,
we have this shirt for a purpose. For a purpose.
And I will say it now, and we will say it again. Fuck pay to play in all forms of it.
Move to the right a little, because the mic is in your way.
For real.
A little more.
Fuck all forms of pay to play. There is no... That's like snitches. Fuck them all.
Fuck them.
You can't pick and choose on this one. It's like pedophiles. Fuck them all. You can't pick and choose just because your uncle's one. No.
Just stop.
It's across the board.
Make your own festival.
Right. So and here's the thing. If they want the bands to come down there and play for free, and they're handing out free exposure, fantastic. But as I told you before, Blue Ridge was wrapped up in those bartender litigations about not paying their bartenders and not paying their own staff. Now, to me, I'm not even going to get into the talk about musicians and what I think about music, Because if you're not willing to even pay the people that you're hiring, or there's some argument about how shady it is about you paying the staff members that you hired to pass out beer, I'm not going to get to the professional artist argument about Blue Ridge. Because they're too busy arguing about beer money. So the point is, if you're in the business of making friendships or making bonds with MySpace, and that's going to be part of your resume. If you're in the business or trying to showcase all the work that you've done with Facebook, you're rolling the dice, as I've said. And if you're under 30 and you swear to Christ by DW and Blue Ridge and big festivals, you got another thing coming. Because they got to continue to be healthy. They got to continue to work. It's a roll of the dice. And you have to ask yourself, if you've played Blue Ridge 5 times already, what the fuck makes you think they're going to call you back? We've never played it. But I can tell you this, and we may never play it. But the day they do, they're going to have to pay us to go. The day that if we ever get hired for one of these big festivals, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to hire us professionally, like any other job, like you'd hire a roofer.
Gotta hire them to entertain your guests.
If you were hiring, but what's wrong with that? If you were hiring a fucking clown, if you were hiring a stripper, if you were hiring anybody else, if you were hiring a fucking landscaper, you wouldn't argue with me about this. Pay your bartenders. What else we got?
We had this Queensryche on the scary thing about AI.
All of these festivals are beer tents. It's all one big booze fest. I'm telling you. Yeah. These festivals depend on people being so fucking intoxicated that they can't control their wallets. Every 10 feet, there's so much alcohol, you could fucking kill 100 people. Okay? It's not a rock and roll event.
Sorry, there was a fly.
I totally heard Will say it like hiring a loofah.
Oh, chat's gone.
I mean, if I ever get the bread.
Casey Flynn says he might buy a shirt this Friday.
What the fuck?
Yes!
Get a shirt?
Yeah, we got new ones coming out.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah!
So that's all I wanted to say, though, is like, if you've played it 3 times, what now? It's just a what now kind of experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't get upset, everybody, if you didn't get picked this year. If you didn't go to DBW, then wait, there's always next year. That's all I was going to say. I just see a lot more people being upset about it now. I'm like, why are you upset about it now? You should have been upset about it when you put in the $75 submission fee.
That should have upsetted you.
What in the living fuck?
That should have upsetted you.
That should have upsetted you when you went.
Especially if you did it 2 times.
Right.
In a row, back to back.
Right.
And you,
right. Still... I ain't gonna lie. We did it. We did it because we wanted to see what happens. I want to say, okay, let's know. So we know for sure. So
That's how we know.
I said, I don't want to go on the podcast and start talking shit. Now, every year, our fans have said to us, can you please go check out Blue Ridge? And I said, no. And they said, why? And I said, because they're in fucking court. And I don't want to be in a company that is going to court. And they said, why is that, Will? And I said, because I spent my whole life in court. And I've learned to stay away from people that are in court. I don't give a fuck if you're a company, you're my neighbor, if you're DBW, I don't give a fuck if you're fucking Marilyn Manson. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm not gonna partner up with too many big companies that are going to. Let me explain it to you like this. If I said to one of my partners, hey, look, man, I'm in court right now for not paying my employees. They've got a handful of legal complaints against me and formal dates that are set for litigations claiming, true or false, right now I have multiple open cases claiming that I steal from people. Me as an artist, I'm not looking to get involved in that company. So right now, I'm not saying that Blue Ridge is bad people. I don't know them. I don't give a fuck. I don't even hope to play there. The point I'm trying to make is right now, like it or not, big festivals like Danny Wimmer Presents, because he's in court with EAG for stealing intellectual property. They're arguing over property. I don't know who's right or wrong. I don't care. It's none of my business. I don't give a fuck about any of them stages. Blue Ridge is also, and most of these festivals are usually, for better or worse, wrapped up in complicated litigations where they're not paying people. Walmart is another place that doesn't pay their employees. Mm-hmm. So if people are like, yo, Will, how come you don't work at Walmart? It's because they don't pay their employees. What's different about Blue Ridge? Will, why don't you want to play Blue Ridge? Because they don't fucking pay the bands. Next.
That's such a good way. Like
it's just common sense. Yeah. I'm claiming, if I'm Sepsiss and I'm claiming, I'm Will, I represent Sepsiss, we're straight shooters, we want to be taken serious, we're real business, we're real entertainers, we're authentic. We look you straight in the eye. We want to be booked professionally. We treat people the way that we want to be treated, and we're interested in valuable conversations that encourage business-to-business relationships for the greater investment of everybody participating. I don't think that that's too much to fucking ask. But I think it is too much to ask. If I said, hey, I got a bunch of court cases open for stealing. You want to be in my gang? No. You would be saying, hold on, maybe when things clear up, maybe when life is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not, I got a bunch of fucking problems right now. You want to be my girlfriend? People are like, it's just a tough place to be. So that's all it really is I wouldn't, just in the same way as you wouldn't want to speak up for any large corporation ripping its employees off or being in some confusing kerfuffle.
They are in a kerfuffle.
They're in a kerfuffle. Not me.
They are.
So if I'm a guy claiming, and I'm building my resume and building my strategy as the rock metal reset, and I'm a straight shooter, me siding with one of these crippled companies makes me a fucking hypocrite. Because I don't believe in pay to play. So if Sepsiss goes and starts playing festivals that encourage pay to play type situations, then that would make us hypocrites. Something bands would never do.
No.
Moving right along.
Yes.
To the scary thing about AI in music.
Uh-oh.
I read this article 2 times because I really like.
Just get scared.
I really like how Todd Latour,
yes,
the lead vocalist of Queensryche, warns the danger of this deepfake technology in the digital age.
What do we know about who do we know close enough to Queensryche? Melissa?
Glenn Robinson?
That's right. If you know, that's right. Glenn Robinson, our producer, also I think he remastered Operation Mindcrime.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is like probably my favorite Queensryche album.
Let's listen to it after this.
Really? It's a good album.
Let's listen to it.
You want to listen to the Glenn Robinson versions?
Yeah. If it's Glenn Robinson, I am totally front row seat. I want to smell the equipment.
Oh!
Not that equipment.
Simmer down.
Anyways, and he goes on and talks about what he believes the deepfakes have the potential to be used maliciously, leading to the spread of misinformation and manipulation of public opinion. Ooh. And he's referring to how AI has taken Drake's voice and made songs using Drake's voice that's not really Drake, it's the AI Drake. And he highlights the concern that deepfakes can be used to create convincing fake videos or audio recordings of individuals like the AI Drake.
Or child porn.
Making it difficult to discern between reality and fabrication. And that, he emphasizes, is the need for individuals to be aware of deepfake technology and to critically evaluate the content that they consume and all of that.
Do you remember me talking about this before and saying in the very near future, this is, man, you're going to be like, what the fuck, bro? Because when we all first met years ago, I said the internet, right now, I said, everyone has had fun with anonymity. And everyone has had there's only so much space. Mm-hmm. Everyone has expanded this bubble where anyone can say anything to anybody, all opinions go. We've all expanded that space. We've all expanded that space of dummy accounts and not really knowing who we're talking to and being in these big forums and being in groups where there's the gangsters and the perverts and the furries and we're all in one big room. The kids and the little kids are in with the teenagers and in the woods, in the natural woods, this would not be an environment we could survive in. There's not an environment where there's alligators living on top of squirrels and squirrels.
That'd be terrifying.
Right. There's no reality natural where there's like people from the hood living with the Vatican and they can have an opinion on what the Crips say and the Crips are talking to the daycare. That's where we're at right now. No, but it seems unbelievable and wacky. But this is what we're doing, guys.
This is what we're doing.
We're all kind of in this opinion play space.
It's crazy.
We've got dinner, metal memes, dick pics, ass shots, drill music. I mean, it's all in one, you know what I mean?
It's all in one place.
You know, TikTok's made that easy. You know, you go one, you know what I'm saying? You get there's a beheading, and then there's a, you know what I mean? And then there's a standoff, and then it's a sale for scrunchies.
Available at sepsiss.com.
They are.
SC23.
You know you feel what I'm saying? though? Yeah. It's like, it goes from like...
all the front for the
mile to wild.
It does. It goes from like, you know, killer teddy bears to like
huggable pineapple crisps.
Right. I mean, and then unfortunately, you know, a Rottweiler eating somebody's privates.
You know, Reddit's the same way.
Is it? That's the new thing. Is like, what is up with all the? I've seen this over and over again. Like animals eating human beings' privates. I'm over it. I'm like even desensitized. There's like a lot of it, surprisingly.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've seen 3 different random videos of animals just devouring humans' naughty parts. Yeah.
And this leads into Queensryche stating that he's calling upon the people or whatever to have increased regulation and accountability for these types of behaviors on the internet.
You know, like
as well as deepfakes.
Like I said, I the battle for authenticity is on. You know, we are now maximizing the space of being, you know, purple giraffes. Like, you can be a purple giraffe in the future, but your real ID is going to be on that purple giraffe. Mm-hmm. The internet is not going to be a place where you just get to walk around anonymously and say and do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Like it or not. Mm-hmm. Like it or not. And you know what I'm saying? Whether you like AI or not, you know, you won't even be able to get in your phone without it.
You have to be the real person.
Yep.
You're going to, in order to, and that's because you need to know where your children are. And you need to know how much is left in your bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Until nuclear war happens, it wipes it all off, and we have to start.
Can I say something about that, though? We're not there yet. We are here though with deep fake porn though. You know what I'm saying? We're not blowing up yet. And we're not quite aliens yet. I'm talking about what's happening now. We're stealing from musicians now. We're treating our children poorly now. You know what I mean? Like,
we're blurring the lines between fake and real
now. Right. We're in we owe the feds trillions of credit card debt now. I don't want to. People talk about the devil and the aliens are gonna. That's fine. I'm fine with that. People talk about Mars and all this other stuff. I'm fine with that too. Now we're still dealing with race. Now we're still dealing with child abuse. Now addiction. Now we can't clean up the environment until we stop killing each other with rockets.
Now
we can't have a conversation until we put down the danger. Now. Right. We can't talk until we're out of danger, everybody. That doesn't matter what version of you want to be today. That's something later. I'm talking about now.
Right now. And he urges society, not only us, but Queensryche also urges society to educate themselves about deepfakes and strategies to combat.
This is why we read all this shit. We were talking about this earlier. We were like, before, when streaming really took off, all the artists at that time, they're all gone now, but all the local artists at that time, remember Melissa? None of them knew about streaming when we first started getting into it, and a lot of the artists that were playing music, when we first started playing music, were clueless about streaming. Everybody had CDs at the table. And I remember we got so far into that era of musicians, me and Melissa looked at each other and was like, we should have learned about streaming. And so we could have been some of the first people that were involved in it, you know? But we didn't care. We were too busy being edgy and rock and roll and all this other stuff. And then time went on, and not MP3s, but DSPs came out. And me and Melissa had a chance to be on DSPs, but we were too cool. We could have been some of the first people on iTunes and Spotify. We were just too cool. We could have been learning about it then. But we did what most artists do. And we thought that playing, accurate notes and moving well on stage was going to do it. We thought somehow that was going to make us smart. It didn't. So this is what I'm going to tell you about waiting for things to happen later. We don't wait for things to happen later anymore. We deal with them right now. So instead of doing what we did before, because me and Melissa have already done this before, the technology in the music industry changed when we first started the band. And then we looked behind us and we went, we should have did this. We should have did this. We should have signed up for this. And we're watching it happen again. And we're watching all the bands of this era do it. And it's weird being a band from before watching everybody, because we didn't know the stuff we know now. So we're all talking to people like, no, don't do it, they're gonna get you. Like
you're trying to warn them, you're trying to educate
right,
them, because you've been
and people
through
swear
that.
to God that we're cock blocking. But it's like the people are gonna go through what they're gonna go through anyway. Mm-hmm. No matter how much, especially hearing it from a guy that, or a person that looks like you or me or somebody else or sounds like Zach or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to come from the person you want it to come from before it's got to come from somebody that's familiar to you or somebody that you trust before you're going to take my word for it. So
go do the research then if we're not going to.
They don't do it. It's the same thing we did. People told us you could be on Touch Tunes. I ignored it. People told me to. We did. People told us to get involved, and we were pretty internet savvy. I will say that. Like we were cool with it. We were cool with social media. We were cool with going to hang flyers and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff that, just like now, the fear of. See, the music industry has always been something that we've wanted to grow up to and then be able to recognize. That's never happened in the history of music. Like, if Elvis would have been alive towards the end, he wouldn't have been making music in a recognizable industry. before Prince passed, he was explaining to people many times how unrecognizable the experience has been. There's no catching up with it, or that it's designed to not be learned. Because if you learn something, you can practice it and get good at it.
It's designed for you not to get good at it.
Right. People don't stay friends long in this business because the offices don't stay open. You know what I mean? The turnover rate in the bands, the companies, all of it. From the bands to the people in the distribution companies and the record labels, people start this game and quit so quickly. No one ever gets to know each other well enough to learn the songs, to learn the band. Band managers will go out and they will take on a band. And here's a fun one for all you bands out there that just have band managers. Sometime when you catch your band member, or when you catch your band manager sleeping, see how many song lyrics he knows. See how many scenes he can recall from a music video. How many shows has your manager been to and seen you play live? And then ask your manager what his favorite top 5 songs of yours are. Because if your band manager doesn't know 5 of your songs from front to back, he has no business speaking on your behalf.
That's real shit.
That's the best goddamn thing I think I've ever...
We have to clip that.
Hold on.
No, but that's only on this program that you're going to get that.
That's a gem.
You know, maybe I'm not the guy you want to see or hear tell it to you. Yeah. So, So, the amount of money that goes into buying on a couple of big festivals like that, you know, if you do that for 3 or 4 years, you get to a, and now what the fuck are we going to do moment. And even if you're not buying it, they're giving out courtesy exposure, because what they do is they hunt down the most capable people that are going to splatter this shit all over their internet. You know, they get the most hopeful 4 bands in the fucking world, and they have them play every single year because they know they're going to fucking dominate their internet space with it. And they're going to hire them not to play music. Of course not, because the stage they'll be playing on is in the parking lot. They're not playing no main stages. They're not playing with no celebrities and nobody like that. They're playing for exposure. But what they really do, the exposure is not for the band. The exposure is for the festival. What they do is they take really great advertisers and marketers like Sepsiss. They say, well, you know, Sepsiss, you're the DWB band. You're going to be, you know, we go out all year hoping to get on this thing. We're fucking spamming. We're using all, because what do people are trying to dominate and control today is the advertising space on social media. The problem with that is Danny Wimmer can only afford, and he can only take over so much image and real estate space. He can only have so much. You know, Walmart can't put $1 billion in Facebook ads down. There's a certain limit that Home Depot, they can't just put Home Depot signs all over town.
There's limitations to how many ads you can have up, how much you spend on ads. And
right. I can't just go, you know what, I'm going to dump $7 million in Google and take over tonight. I mean, you're going to lose a lot of money. There's a lot of pain to come from that. They're probably going to
cap you on that investment.
And there's a whole bunch of loss. There's a whole bunch of loss going into that. It's not even, it's a different conversation almost entirely. But, hell, if I can recruit 700 bands to share flyers and dominate the social space, you got to figure if you're talking about, let's just look at Facebook, okay? The smallest amount, please understand this, everybody, the very smallest amount of Facebook bands are the greatest amount of output for independent rock and roll and metal on Facebook. Did everybody get that? Meaning there's this many bands on Facebook, but this amount of bands are responsible for the greatest amount of content put out on Facebook? How many bands do you know that are like Elise Binks? How many bands do you know are like the Soap Girls? How many bands do you know are like FDS? These people aren't going live and making content and doing Twitch. Those bands are special.
They're doing something else.
They're doing something else. They're not just... Bands don't do shit. Those aren't bands. Those are social media influencers and advertisers and marketers and realtors and fucking... No. You ain't got me fooled. That's like people see me on here. They're like, that guy's not in a band. He's an ex-convict. He's a speaker. They know. Y'all get it? This isn't one-stop shopping. So let me start again. The bands that are responsible for the greatest amount of output on Facebook are the smallest bands. That small group of bands are putting out the largest amount of content. Amy Lee's not sitting down every Sunday going live on Swarm TV. And sure, some of the bands come on when they need stuff. When they need you to vote for something, or they're begging you for fucking giveaways or donations of free shit. But we're smarter than that. We know people don't even like to go to shows anymore. We're smarter than that. People don't like local music. And most people can't name 5 local musicians. And people say that they like local music because it sounds good in a Facebook post. You know what I mean? But if you ask people, hey, it's summertime. We're headed towards halfway into August. How many bands have you guys discovered this summer? Name the last 5 bands you discovered. Name your top 3 New England rock bands. Most people won't be able to tell you. They haven't been out to see a local band in years. You know, they say, oh, support local. Where's the last 10 local shops that you've shopped at? I'll put it in the comments. You know, don't prove it to me. It's just people say shit like that online, you know. Support local, dude. You never do that.
Yeah.
When's the last time you went to the local farm or the local... Dude, support local music. I love those people who put up those flyers. All the people on Facebook. Support local music. I'll stop them. And I'll say, name 5 local artists in your city.
They never say a thing.
I know 5 local artists in the city. I know them personally. And why wouldn't I? I support local music. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's a battle for authenticity. What can I say?
Yeah.
We're
out of time now. That's the thing.
What else you got, Lex? You know me. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop. I will say that Elon Musk is stealing everybody's. He took @music and a whole bunch of other ones too. 16 years ago, I created @music and have been running it ever since. Just now, Twitter just ripped it away from me. I'm super pissed. This is Jeremy Vaught. Imagine that. Like that's what I'm saying. So you've been building your whole resume with Blue Ridge your whole life. You've played last year, the year before, and hey, maybe they hooked you up with exposure, right? You came out of the parking lot. It was the best experience of your life. I don't want to take that away from anybody, but what are you going to do next year? It's not like these guys are playing DBW and coming back with 20,000 followers.
No.
You're coming back with Facebook pictures.
And a live video.
So what I'm saying is the smallest amount of social media bands put out a ton of advertisement. The smallest amount of people that would sign up for Blue Ridge are the ones that are responsible for advertising themselves more than the A-listers would ever consider. Did you just get the hustle?
Let that sink in.
Did you just get that, Melissa?
Swallow
That's the
it
point. That's the point. Me as an A&R, as a marketer, as a fucking scam artist, I can go like this. Wait a minute. These A-listers, they don't even fucking post. They got managers and social media managers. They could care less. Mm-hmm. They're just going to... And you guys got to understand, big bands buy on too. They just buy on in a different way. You're a big band, I'm a big band, you're a big band. What slot you going to get? Oh, you're going to get the 20,000 slot? Damn, how much is the other one? Oh, because you got the 30,000. What's left? 17 grand? What to go in front of? I'll take it. I'll see you over there. I see. Next year, I'm going to get you on that 20. You see how that worked? Mm-hmm. Now, that's how it works with me and my homies when we set up shows, too. The people who put in the bread and the biggest investment, the ones who got the biggest bank and the biggest bullets wins.
Every time.
Every time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just get this like, what the fuck are we gonna do now this year? Because if you played Blue Ridge in 2021, and then you played at the parking lot in 2022, and you played in 2023, every year as it gets closer, you go, oh my god, what the fuck is gonna happen? You put your $75, and it's an easy thing zooming out for me to observe, and just looking at Facebook. Because that's where a lot of the advertisements are. Because the kids on TikTok don't go to live rock and roll shows, bro.
Too young.
The 28 to 55 do, and they're all on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly where Danny Wimmer is. That's where he spends all his time. Mm-hmm. So you can just check out what he does. So you know what I'm saying? So it's not that you're in a different group. You're in the same small group that is responsible for putting out the most information about rock and roll. There's only a couple of us, bands and companies, because most bands don't do shit, and neither do the companies, bro. Mm-hmm. So it's not, if you look on Facebook, you get to start to narrow down companies and bands. There's only about 200 or 300 of us that actually post regularly.
Look at that.
Which is why we always post on all the publications, because it keeps us right up there with them.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? It keeps us on the same. There's no way you can go. We're in the same community. Facebook. It's not rock and roll.
It's Facebook.
It's Facebook.
You're on the platform. We're on the platform.
Right. You can't. Right. That's what Facebook was designed to do, for you to be able to challenge the NFL.
Yeah.
For you to be able to challenge the church. No, I'm serious.
That's exactly what it's made for. There's
right,
literally
for you to have a
modules on Facebook specifically
to
that
train you how to do it.
This.
Huh.
Oh, dude, we've been trained by Facebook.
Yeah.
We are a Facebook band.
Yeah. Yeah, they literally have...
Facebook has been training us in school for years.
Yeah.
Sometimes they pay us to do it.
That's pretty neat.
It's not a lot, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You learn a lot.
And you learn a lot. And
you get to understand the platform and other platforms.
And other,
they all kind of link together.
Right, and they have to teach you about other platforms because competition.
Mm.
That and also the similar resources that like for example, Facebook and Instagram, those similar insights.
Or like AR Spark or AI or like different tools will migrate over.
Yeah.
And not to mention, some of them are integrated. Mm-hmm. They have to be. Per the law. Because of advertising. I could go on and on. But that's why. Guys, we got to go because it's hot. We're going to split.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
That's hot. I promise, Melissa, it's video games. We signed off earlier today because we're going to go play ICG. Actually,
and Patreons have a movie tonight.
And it's Patreon night and movie night.
Night.
We're gonna go outside and smoke some weed.
Woo! Bye guys. See you next time.